guys, welcome to KK Java Tutorials. In this video tutorial, we'll talk about add configuration properties annotation. Okay, so I had posted list of videos on Spring Boot 1 in my channel. Even though this annotations belongs from Spring Boot 1 itself, but I couldn't cover in that series. So just I thought to basically cover this annotation in Spring Boot 2 itself, right? So now we are learning a few concepts related to Spring Boot 2. So, but this concept applies for, of course, Spring Boot 1 as well, right? So guys, from over a few years, I have been using this annotation in various projects. So I thought I should discuss with you, right? So whenever if you want to externalize your properties related to your application, right, then you'll be using add configuration properties annotation, right? So let's try to understand through an example. So here is the STS, and here I'm going to create a very simple project. I'll go to the file, new, and project, right? And here I'm going to select a Spring Boot starter, yeah. And here project name is already there, a Spring Boot configuration properties annotation app, right? And I'm just keeping everything as it is, right? And going to click on next, and nothing I'm going to select. I'm not going to select any Spring Boot starter project. Just I'm going to click on next and finish. That's it, right? So project is created, right? This is the project, right? So just I have created a project with Spring Boot parent, right? Project, right? So here a Spring Boot starter parent is there only, right? If I go to the Maven dependency, here you can see at least we have all the core Spring related jars and some other supportive jars in our class path. So to understand this concept, we don't need to add any other basically Spring Boot starter dependency, yeah, apart from Spring Boot starter parent, yeah. So here I have a bootstrap class, yeah. To understand this concept, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to create one model class. So I'll go to the right click over here, so not here, but let me create one package. So I'm going to create src main Java. I'm going to create a package class, let's say class in model package dot model model, and class name I'm going to create KK Java Tutorials. That's my basically channel name, KK Java Tutorials, right? I have created a class with KK Java Tutorials, right? I wanted to create, okay, that is in the dot model package. So guys, in this model class, I'm going to just add three properties, right? Private fields, right? First is channel ID, then channel name and website URL, yeah. Now here just I'm going to create, of course he required a setter method at least, right? So but here I'm going to create public setter getter both. But if you do not create getter, that's fine, but creating a setter method of this field, public setter method, is required, right? And finally just I'm going to create a toString method, right? So that I can print a state of object in nice format. Okay, so here no, not toString, but not equals and hash code, but toString method I wanted to override, yeah. So this is the toString. Pretty simple, right? Now what I'm going to do now, here there are a couple of ways we can use add configuration properties annotation. First approach, which is I do not prefer, but still I would like to discuss over here. First approach, I go to this my class, okay, and here what I'll do, I'll create a public and return type KK Java, whatever is your model class, and I say just method name KK Java Tutorials, and this guy is going to return an instance of KK Java Tutorials, right? Whatever is your model class, right? That is going to, and of course this is going to annotate as @bean, right? So you know @bean annotation basically this method basically returns a bean, right? Which we explicitly we are creating. So now when I annotate this method as @bean, that means I'm telling to the Spring container, hey Spring container, I'm going to instantiate this class KK Java Tutorials and register this class as a Spring Bean in the Spring container, so that whenever I ask you, So you should be aware, okay, there is a bean with this id, whatever is the method name, right? So by default method name would be the id of that bean. If you want to specify id explicitly, then here you can specify a name, right? Using name you can specify any id, right? So that's the first thing. Now second annotation I'm going to use add configuration properties, right, that I was talking. So configuration properties, and that's it. This annotation, this annotation is showing some kind of warning. Don't worry about that, saying that when using add configuration properties, it is recommended to add something called a Spring Boot configuration processor to your class path to generate configuration metadata. If you want to generate the configuration metadata in the form of JSON, then you can add basically this annotation in a class path. As of now, I'm going to ignore. Or if you want to add, you can add. I will tell you what will happen if you add this dependency in the class path. So whenever you compile your class, then it will generate basically a JSON JSON to generate a metadata for this your configuration class, right? And that's the basically use of that generated. First of all, that the use of you can get the generated metadata for your configuration class, and second, you can get some kind of auto support when you try to basically initialize your properties in application.properties. You get the auto support as well. So that I will show you later. Okay, now let's focus on. So what I have done, just I have registered this class as a configuration class in this bean, right? Now I can create, okay, I can go ahead and create a, because I need to basically externalize my properties. So I can go ahead and I can create one properties file. You can give the property file any name. So here I'm going to give the property, let's say kk java dot properties, any properties, right? So here this class file name you can give anything, but extension always would be properties here. So make sure the extension is correct, properties, right? And here all those properties you can initialize, like you have a channel id. So channel id, let's say I'm going to initialize with 1000. Then you have a channel name, okay? So channel name I'm going to specify, let's say kk java tutorials, okay? And then website. So what is my official website that I'm going to initialize? So if I go here, okay, and here I have a website, there you can go and study Java stuff. So here I'm going to initialize this, right? So that's how I can initialize my properties, right? Now I go to here, and here now wherever you want to read these properties as a configuration file, right, which is basically here in this class, then what really you need to do, whichever class you want to read this property, whatever you have declared in this properties file, what you have to do, you have to use this annotation in that class. Here I am going to show I am going to read that properties in the bootstrap class itself, right? But you are free to use this annotation in any class there you want to read these properties, right? So what I am going to use here, that annotation is called property source annotation, right? Here is the property source and property sources. If you have a more than one property, then you can use property sources. Means inside the property sources you can use many property source. So either you can use, if you have I have only one property, so I am going to use property source, right? If you have a multiple, now here you have provision to specify more than one property file, right? So here I have only a property file, class path, and then property file. What is your property file that you have to specify? So my property file is this one, right? So just I'm going to use. So you might have many modules and you required initialize, you configure all the properties file for all the modules. In that case you can use add property sources, right? Now my this bootstrap class know about this property, right? Now if I go and if I ask my Spring container, right, hey Spring container, give me that pin, Which bean? Get bean. I would say I will ask to the Spring container, give me this bean, because this bean is already registered in the Spring container, right? So Spring container know about this bean because I have registered that bean using at bean annotation, right? And once this bean gets returned, just I'm going to print. So this guy is going to print. So already I have overridden two nesting method. So this guy is going to print a state of basically this object. So value of channel ID, name, and URL, right? So if I run, I think everything we have done. So just I'm going to run this project as a Spring Boot app, and this should print values for every property. And here you can see all the property has been initialized. So that's how you can basically initialize or externalize your application properties, right? What you see over here. But the way I have registered, right, the way I have registered this bean in the Spring container, so this is the way. This way I do not like actually. So another way how you can do that. So instead of just registering one bean, what you can do, you can use this annotation itself, at bean and add property annotation. At bean you don't need to use. What you can do, you can go to the class level, and here in this class you can annotate as this add configuration, right? And second annotation you have to of course use, you need to register as any annotations like studio type annotation like add component, and that's it. Then if I commented this code, then still it is going to work. Let me show you. Cool, this is going to work, right? Now next thing, let's say if you have a configurational property, let's say you have a lot of model classes which holds basically configurational data, right? And all the basically classes you don't want to annotate as add component, right? Add component, only you want to annotate as add configuration properties. That is also possible. In that case, what you have to do, so at least your configurational class has to annotate as add configuration properties. But here in your Spring Boot class, what you are going to use, you are going to use one more basically annotation is called add configuration. Look at the name of this annotation. Name of this annotation is add configuration property. So just you have to prefix that. There is another annotation is called configuration application properties. Configuration application properties. Configuration application properties. Configuration. Sorry. What is that? Yeah. That. Sorry. That annotation name is called enable configuration properties, right? Enable configuration properties. So this is the one. And here what you are going to do, this guy is having a lot of property. One of them is value. Here you can specify, so in curly bracket you can specify the array. If you look at the value is nothing but the array of class. So here you can specify all the classes which basically holds the configurational data. In my case there is only one class, so I have specified only one. If you have more after comma, you can specify those classes. Right now you don't really need to specify your your model class which holds configurational relation data with add component. That's it. Still it should work. Let me press Ctrl Shift O to organize import. If I run, then it should work, right? So here you can see all the properties has been initialized. Now next thing what I would like to talk, guys, so here application.properties is the main property file, right? And this is the property which we have created. Let's say I'm going to initialize this property, another property, few property here, right, and few property here, right? Then in that case application.properties location you don't need to specify here, because Spring Boot is very much aware about the application.properties, right? So if I run, then it is going to run this guy properly. And here you can see, even though I moved website URL in main application.property, it is going to read, right? So now let me move this one again in my own configurational properties file. Now next thing, Next thing, look at the this properties name. This properties name I have given as it is what name we have given over here, but it's not mean that you have to give as it is. There is another naming convention. Let's say if your property name is channel ID, that channel hyphen ID you can give. Similarly, channel hyphen name and channel hyphen website hyphen URL, something like you can initialize or something like this, like channel hyphen and a small ID, something like that. Channel name, it is also valid. This is a second naming convention and URL, and it will work. Let me show you. So even though after making this change, if I run this application, let me right click on the project and run as a Spring Boot application, then you can see property is getting initialized correctly, right? Now one more thing, you remember earlier it was showing some basically it was showing some warning, right, because of this annotation, right. So I have added one additional basically dependency in my class path. And what is that dependency? This dependency. And this dependency, when you compile your project, then this dependency we have added. So because of that, it is going to generate a metadata for your this class, right, your Java class, right, which holds basically configurational data. That we will see just right after looking into one more important concept. What is that? So we'll see. I'll compile this class and I'll show you that JSON. But before that, I wanted to show you something. Yeah. So when you use add configuration property, then here you can import. There are few properties like ignore valid fields, ignore unknown fields. These are the properties you can understand by looking into the name itself. But one of the very beautiful properties called prefix guide. This is more important. So here prefix you can give anything. Like I can give my app, but you can't give like my app. This will not valid. Capitalization will not valid. So here just I'm going to give my app. If you give the prefix, then all your property has to prefix with this whatever prefix you have given over there, right? So here you can see all the properties I'm going to preceded with this prefix, right? So this is really very important when you want to initialize configurational data for two different environment. Let's say one for dev and another for prod or QA. Then in that case, just prefix you can give the different, right? Now if I run, then it will run perfectly fine. Yeah. So let me show you. So I ran the project and still it is working perfectly fine, right? Now let's go to, if I right click on the project, I go to the run as, and I'll select Maven build, and here just I'm going to compile my project, right? Let me compile my project, and I'll go to, after compilation, I'll go to this location, right? Just I wanted to show you the metadata is generated for us, right, in the form of JSON, because we had added one more dependency, right, in my class path when we try to using add configuration properties annotation, then ID was giving some kind of a warning. It was not error but warning. So if you go to the target and classes, and here you could have, okay, inside the meta inf you'll get this JSON, and if you open this JSON, this will generate basically metadata for your basically class which is holding configurational data, right? So here you can see groups, so you have a group starting from here and ending somewhere where it is ending. So it is ending over here. So this is group name, nothing but the prefix, and then type is your qualified class name, and source type is also qualified class name. And then we have a properties. Inside the properties you have a different properties starts here. First property, you can look at the what is the type of the properties, what the source type, right, what's the name, right, everything, all the metadata has been generated. Hint, there you can specify some kind of hint, I mean what kind of value is valid for the specific properties. So that's basically holds the hint. So this will generate some kind of metadata for your basically class which is holding kind of configurational data, guys. So that's all I wanted to show in this video tutorial. But before wrapping this video tutorial, I would like to tell you, So here I have just given that simple properties, but it's not mean that always you will have simple properties. So here we have a KK Java tutorials, it's a custom class, but here you can have some kind of like a private and some kind of custom class, let's say employee or something like that, right? Here you can have some kind of list, right? You can specify some kind of list, set, map, array, any kind of properties you can basically declare over here. But how to configure basically custom custom property, if some custom property you have inside this KK Java tutorials, then and list, set or map or properties kind of data type, that we will see in the next video tutorial. So that's it in this video tutorial, guys. Thanks for watching this video.